Donahue. I'm Director of Community Relations for Ohio Health. Today I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our speaker for today, Harvey Hook from Vista Village. Harvey's the Chief Engagement Officer for Vista Village, Inc., an innovative nonprofit in Columbus, Ohio, which serves individuals experiencing homelessness in a tiny home community. Vista Village works with community partners and volunteers to provide comprehensive wraparound services for men and women as they transition from homelessness to help, wholeness, employment, and then independent living into the broader community. Vista Village is the first model of its kind in Ohio and is rapidly gaining support from community leaders, businesses, and government entities, including the City of Columbus. Today you will hear from Harvey about this initiative, which is the vision of John Perez from Perez Morris. John and Harvey have set out to educate the community about this creative solution. Columbus Rotary is a key audience, and I was pleased to make this introduction. Please welcome Harvey to the stage. Thanks, Harvey.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and it's good to be with you today. Ken Ackerman, we had lunch recently. Ken, it's great to see you, and as I look around the room, I see some familiar faces, and so I want to thank you for your time and attention today. Vista Village, faith-based community serving the homeless. I think one of the first things we want to think about when we're thinking about Vista Village, it's a holistic approach to addressing men and women who are experiencing homelessness, mental, social, physical, and spiritual parts of their lives. And we seek to bring all of those resources to the table to address these individuals. Also, as Debbie mentioned, the founder of Vista Village is John Perez, founding attorney at Perez and Morris. And approximately 4 years ago, he became so moved by what was taking place in the area of homelessness and affordable housing that he chose to sell his firm and return to his firm from his managing partner position so he could dedicate half of his time and energy in his remaining years to serve this critical issue. Also alongside of John Perez, every moment of the way since that time, is Lexi Rogers. And Lexi Rogers is right here. Lexi, would you stand, please? And we wouldn't be here today without Lexi. Lexi is our executive director from day one. She's been on a plane traveling the United States to look at best practice models in other states and putting together the program designed to address the needs of our future residents. A little technical support if I could. There we go. Vista Village, we own 15 acres of land off of Refugee Road in southeast Columbus. Phase 1, we're focusing on 6 of those acres. And on those 6 acres, we will have 41 tiny homes. We will have a large community garden. We will have a 4,000 square foot park. And we will have we'll have a 2-acre park and a large 4,000 square foot community center, which will be the hub for all services to be delivered on site. 41 tiny homes. I might have skipped ahead there, one. Each tiny home will be 420 square feet. It will come complete with bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living area. The only amenity not provided for in the individual tiny home, which will be populated by one individual, will be laundry facilities. And so we will have the laundry facilities along with the community kitchen to serve the needs of all the population located in the community center. And so part of that, the philosophy behind that, is to encourage our future residents to get to know one another, to mix together. Also, we'll have a pitched roof and a front porch. Again, the concept of the front porch, I was born in the 50s, grew up in the 60s. We had front porches, and that's how you engage your neighbors in the neighborhood. And so we want to bring that back to serve the needs of our residents. Community garden. It's 25 feet by approximately 400 square feet, and we are networking with partners to bring the greatest value out of that to serve the needs of our residents. Fruits and vegetables and flowers and ways to engage our residents into the community. And as I mentioned earlier, the community center. Community center will house our professional staff. It will house our service providers who will be coming in and out of the community on a regular basis, as well as our actively engaged volunteer community. That is what our tiny homes, that's a model of what our tiny homes will be looking like in the future. Our research nationally shows when we think about tiny homes, they can be a variety of things. It can be kind of modified tents, they can be RVs, they can be stick built on a trailer frame, they can look like a military barracks, they can look like so many different iterations that you might think about. We stopped, we paused, and we looked to see what is the best home model that we believe that would embrace the dignity of the individuals we will be serving. And so we have designed this and put this together so that we want to embrace the dignity of the individual in such a way that they will see. Now on phase one, the initial 6 acres that we have, each one of these tiny homes is on a regular size lot, I believe 35 by 100. So there's a lot of green space being offered to our residents on site. And again, this will give them an opportunity to walk, to enjoy the outdoors, to walk across and enjoy the park. We also believe it's very important to house one person per home so that during their time with us, they can really focus on themselves. There are 5 populations that we will be serving. When you think about this umbrella that we think of as homelessness, we're going to be serving those individuals who are truly on the streets or in camps or homeless today. Our model will serve those who are homeless today and those who are on the precipice of being homeless tomorrow. Those on the precipice of being homeless tomorrow are teenagers and young adults aging out of foster care. We still have got a long ways to go to effectively serve their needs. Men and women, returning citizens from incarceration, who need a place to be and re-enter into society while receiving the wraparound services that they need to best prepare them for their success. Veterans. We're losing 30 veterans a day due to suicide. Critical. As well as those individuals involved in substance recovery programs. Lexi has served for the last number of months as an intern with Kindway. Kindway was founded by Christine Money after 30 plus years as a employee of the Ohio Department of Corrections. She's a former warden at the Ohio Reformatory for Women in Marysville and the former warden at Marion Correctional Institution. Lexi has worked with, gotten to know, build relationships with women and gotten to know them well and has been there to experience the sorts of resources that are available to women. And then last November, John Perez and I had the opportunity to go up to Marion and spend an entire day inside the prison with approximately 50 men. And Kindway, I'm lifting them up as a model to indicate the depth of research that our team has put together to best determine who will be most successful, and the best candidates for entry into Vista Village. And so John and I spent a day up there, and we left blown away by the maturity of the men that we spent time with, by the resources that Christine brought to that institution to turn it from a prison into an opportunity zone for these individuals to move forward. We, Vista Village, we are the first of our kind in the state of Ohio. What does that mean? Utilizing tiny homes with on-site wraparound services. We are transitional housing in that we will bring these services on-site for our residents, saving them time with transportation and delays so that the services can be provided on-site. And we're also a gated and secure community. 6-foot fence, lighting, cameras. We will actually enhance the safety zone for ourselves and our neighbors living close by. And I mentioned earlier, and I forgot to go further, when you think about our location down on Refugee Road about a mile west of Hamilton Road, and about half a mile east of First Church of God, Bishop Timothy Clark. So we are located right in that area. So next slide. This is a sketch of what our community center will look like. Next. We'll have private offices, large community meeting room for social events. It really has been designed with best practice in mind to not only serve the professional needs of our residents, but the community kitchen can be used by outside groups, individuals, couples, families, businesses, corporations who would like to serve our residents in some capacity. It could be a music program, a social program, it could be a meal. Part of our goal is to normalize this Vista Village as much as possible. Many times, our social service sector addresses the needs of these individuals in their own silos. We believe that the ultimate goal is to transition to employment, independent functioning in the broader community in 18 to 24 months. Why not begin that socialization right on day one when they move into the community? I mentioned the kitchen, technology center. We believe it's going to be very important for our individuals as they move in to have access to technology. So where do we get our residents? How do you mix these populations? Where do your residents come from? We're not buying a van and driving around the city and picking up people and saying, we're here to help you. Each one of these individuals who comes to live at Vista Village will have an existing relationship with a service provider. They will have already had to meet some criteria for success with their service provider. They will come into the village with a case plan. You, the resident of Vista Village, will be under the care of the service provider. These are your goals. This is your plan. This is what you commit to fulfill during your time at Vista Village. Lexi Rogers will coordinate all of the different service providers who will be serving our residents. And then our selection team, our intake team, will make the final decision on their entrance into the village. The truth is, there are many people, as we have been out to camps and on the streets, who would say, I'm fine, don't want your help, I'm good to go. There are other individuals, mental health issues or addiction issues, that don't want our help and they're not prepared to receive it. So we are doing our due diligence to bring those individuals in who truly need the help for a second chance, and truly will respond to the services that are offered. Probably the closest model to Vista Village is the Veterans Community Project in Kansas City. And their standard is a success rate of 18 months. What does success look like for them and for us? Well, for us, it's 18 to 24 months. Come into the program, receive the services you need, get employment, begin a savings account, and at the end of that period of time, we work with them to secure them an appropriate apartment or home for them to rent or purchase. These are some of our referral agencies and service partners. Southeast Healthcare will offer mental health counseling. They also have great connections to the employment community. They will also offer pharmacy services, dental. Salvation Army, they will be one of our referral partners. They've got a phenomenal program serving young females coming out of human trafficking, and they've agreed to partner with us very close. Godman Guild, I believe that's GED Services. Columbus Works, Workforce Development. Critically important to us. Ohio Health, thank you, Debbie. Primary health care services to our residents. First Church of God has a City of Refuge CDC program where they offer skilled trades training with credentialing. And we believe it's very important to help our residents receive the training they need, the employment, and for those who have the capability to receive employment in an area with a career and livable wage. Next slide, please. This is a quick look at the site, 2-acre park. Next slide, please. Lexi, did I forget anything?
I think you did a great job covering it. Nothing comes to mind.
Thank you. As was mentioned in the introduction, City of Columbus, first of all, this phase one capital budget is $6 million. In the last 2 years, we've raised $4.4 million in commitments. $500,000 of that comes from the City of Columbus. And so we're very, very thankful for the City of Columbus. Others you would recognize who've gotten on board with us would be Sandy Doyle, Ahern, Safelight, Worthington Industries, NiSource, Columbia Gas, and a lot of others. So we're very thankful for the community stepping up and making this a priority. And we thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today. And I will take any questions. Yes.
So you mentioned that some of the people that will be coming to live here will be either in recovery or going through active or still in active addiction. Do you have any plans in place to have like drug counseling or addiction counseling available on site? Or are you going to have like drug testing be part of the requirements to have housing? I'm just kind of curious, like, what that might be.
So for those involved in substance recovery, we will have random drug tests. We will also have random home checks to check on those individuals. And so those will be active and ongoing. If somebody is actively engaged in an addiction, they would not yet be brought into the village until the referring agency believed that they were a true candidate and had been drug-free for an appropriate period of time. Question, Lexi.
I just wanted to tack on that too. We will also have Freedom Recovery on site providing the MA and AA support groups, outpatient treatment, so we will have that resource available as well.
Thank you.
Real quick, Deb.
Repeat the question so people can hear.
Okay, we will also have, as Lexi just shared, we will also have Freedom Recovery on site providing care for those individuals involved in addiction recovery. Yes, the gentleman in the back, please. That would be you, sir.
Are the houses, a double question, are the houses stick-built or prefab? And number two, did you have any NIMBY issues with neighbors?
Two questions. How are the homes built? Thank you. Great question. They are modular stick build. They will be built by Unibuilt Custom Homes in the greater Dayton area. They will be built under roof, transported, and then by crane placed on a foundation on site. Did we have along the way members of the community in opposition to Vista Village? The answer is yes. Right across the street from us on south side of Refugee Road, there's a community of 24 homes. And so those residents very actively did not want our project brought into their neighborhood. We, over the last 6 to 7 months, had 3 separate meetings with our neighbors, moderated by the Mideast Area Commission. And a lot of opposition, not in our backyard, why not build them someplace else? And what I'm about to say, it wasn't everyone at the very end, but at the end of the 3rd meeting, there were a number of individuals who exchanged hugs with us. That community was originally developed by a home builder. They could not make it go. That community was promised a community park and a community center, and we will work with them to make our resources available to them. Thank you. Yes, young lady, last table.
Is there a requirement for them to pay rent or do community service or work?
Is there a requirement for them to pay rent or do community service and work? Another key element of the presentation I forgot to mention, things like taking care of their home, mowing their yard, being responsible for their area is incumbent upon them, be part of what is expected of them. And at such time in their relationship with us that they secure employment, there will be a max amount of up to $350 per month that they will commit to their own care in the village. Yes, the gentleman in the back.
Will there be smoking and non-smoking properties?
No. Will there be smoking or non-smoking properties? No smoking in the homes or community center or any other structures, but smoking will be allowed on site. Yes, ma'am.
You might say it, but I'm sorry if I missed it. Is this place like a hub? People come and live there for a while and then move to their own when they're ready to move on? Or you are allowing them to live there and then you have a plan to create more community in different areas? What is the vision?
What is the, well, will this be a short-term transitional facility or permanent supportive housing? This will be a transitional living community. Our research indicates that with the appropriate wraparound services available and convenient, we should, at least 85% of our residents should achieve success within 18 to 24 months. And we will work with them to help them locate their own apartment or house out in the community when they graduate, allowing another individual to come in. Yes, sir.
I might have missed this too. What was your time frame for beginning construction, ending, moving people in, all that stuff?
Great question. I need to take better notes. The plan is to break ground this summer. So we anticipate breaking ground this summer. We are this close to having all of the final site work done by MH&T and having the City of Columbus sign off on this and give us a go. We don't need all the $6 million raised in advance to move this forward. We're not building a structure that goes up. We're dropping tiny homes on our property one at a time. Hopefully 10 at a time. Yes. Yes, sir, right here with the glasses.
One of the issues that I've been reading about is families who may have the key member of the family who's working may have a position, but they're underemployed. They don't have very thin margin for error in their resources. So what they end up doing is having to double up in housing with family members or friends or someone else. So is there any plan in your future to consider families who are in that situation, who might fit your model otherwise very well, about having a transition and going back and maybe securing better employment that allow them to go on and live independently?
Do we have a vision for the future with Vista Village where we might be able to serve the needs of families? For phase one, no. Right now, we have adjacent property for phase two, approximately another 5 or 6 acres where we will double the density for private homes, and we will put up 8 individual homes. We are still evaluating what our model will look like going forward, but for now, phase one and phase two will be for individuals able to focus on their needs. Phase 2.1, surrounding our neighbors across the street, we have also purchased 18 individual lots. The plan for those individual lots will not be a tiny home, but will be traditional single-family homes. And right now, the need is saying that would be best suited for single mothers with children. But what you present, we're still dialoguing with other communities around Central Ohio, and we will revisit that at some point in the future. Thank you. One more question. Yes, sir.
I'm a little confused about the eating arrangements. Do you have communal dining for all meals, or do you utilize the kitchens in the units for some?
Great question. Thank you. Each home will have its own kitchen facilities. So no need to leave your home to go to a center for kitchen. When I mentioned the kitchen earlier, it will be there for group events and social functions, those sorts of things. There are other villages around the U.S. where all eating, shower, and bathroom facilities are communal, and we've opted not to do that. But I want to thank you for your time today, your great questions, and Lexi and I will be around for a while afterward to chat with you individually. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harvey, and thank you for sticking around afterwards for more questions.